The madness of Black Friday and Cyber Monday might be over, but our work has just begun. You just paid for thousands of new data points, and now you have to figure out how to use them. The Business of Apparel podcast is your one-stop shop to learn how to launch, grow, and scale your apparel brand. I'm your host, Rachel Erickson. Now let's jump in. Welcome back to the Business of Apparel podcast. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about data analytics on your Black Friday, Cyber Monday information. I was just on a call earlier this morning with a friend of mine who does some digital advertising and digital marketing for several big companies. And he was saying how one of his biggest clients did over $4 million over the Black Friday weekend. And we actually have a client on the books who does 30%. I kid you not. 30% of their annual revenue in the 3 days between Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. So this was a huge weekend for so many different brands. And if you were one of them, you probably paid for some advertising, and now you have a ton of data inside your CRM, inside your back-end system. And you need to figure out how to read it, because if you are just looking at total sales, you are not looking at the full picture. Now, I totally acknowledge that Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a lot. You've probably been planning for this for months. You have probably been working on your marketing campaigns, your ad campaigns. What is your discount strategy? What is your bonus strategy? All of that has likely been in works for a very long time, possibly even years. For those of us who are on long development cycles, especially if we're putting out special product for Black Friday and Cyber Monday launch weekend, we're working on developing those items a year or two in advance. So the culmination of what just happened for your brand could have been years in the making and is likely at least months in the making. And I just want to acknowledge that you have probably got a little bit of a hangover. You've got that Black Friday, Cyber Monday hangover. You're exhausted. You are ready to just hunker down, enjoy the holidays, and rest. But when you are ready, and I hope that it is soon, because you are going to need to turn around and start figuring out what the data is telling you from the sales you made during Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. Now, there are a few key things that I've been talking about quite a bit over the last few months in preparation for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. One of them being that total sales, like that gross revenue dollar that you're chasing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is very, very different from your profit margin, right? Gross income is very different from net income. And so one thing that we really need to look at is not just how many dollars came into the brand, but how profitable was this weekend. If you ended up breaking even, or the discount that you gave out actually cost you money after you spent on advertising, after you spent on all your marketing, after you spent on all your extra efforts for this weekend, you're going to need to analyze all of those numbers to figure out how to do it a little bit better next year, right? This weekend is not just about, well, it could be. I'll stop myself there. It could just be about moving units. If that is what you chose to do for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if you had a warehouse full of goods that you no longer wanted in your warehouse, you were trying to deplete inventory, you were trying to get rid of stuff, and all you wanted was that was your number one goal, then maybe profits isn't as big of a deal to you. But for most brands, the idea of a huge weekend like this is to make a profit and to bring in something on top of that gross revenue, right? You don't want to just sell the goods for what you made them for. You don't want to discount it so much that you didn't actually bring any profits into your brand. So that is something you absolutely need to look at. You started your apparel brand a few years ago with a vision. And maybe you've thought to yourself, I should be able to figure this out on my own, right? Or maybe you've been searching for a quick fix, like a new manufacturer, believing that's the missing piece. But what if the real problem isn't your manufacturer? What if the secret to scaling isn't doing more, but doing it differently? What if you could stop wasting money on the wrong things and avoid costly mistakes? What if you could gain insider knowledge and community support from a team that has over 70 years of combined experience working for the hugest brands on the planet? Introducing my Masterclass, Secrets Behind Billion-Dollar Apparel Brands. This Masterclass is for you if you're ready to stop feeling stuck, frustrated, and insecure. It's time to stop putting out fires and start building a profitable, fulfilling brand that can stand the test of time. Join me and learn the real talk, transparent mentorship that the industry doesn't offer. Discover how to create a brand that works for you, not the other way around. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets and sign up today. Right alongside that is going to be your AOV, or your average order value. When you add discounts and you add bonuses and you add bundles on weekends like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, or coming up for the holidays even, your average order value typically goes down. And so what is average order value, right? It's what the average cost or the average spend is that a customer came and spent at your website over the weekend. So if the average order inside over the weekend was $500 because people bought many, many items because so many things were on discount, that's your average order value. It's $500. But if throughout the rest of the year, your typical customer is coming in and the average order value is maybe only $200, or maybe people are actually coming and the average order value is $750 because they're ordering just as many items, but they're not on discount, that's going to tell you a very, very clear story about what's going on with your AOV on this weekend. That also goes hand in hand with your CAC, or your CAC, or your cost to acquire a customer. What did you spend to bring a new customer into the brand this weekend? And a lot of times, because we've spent a lot of money on advertising for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that CAC or CAC is going to be quite a bit higher than normal. And so you need to be able to attribute those numbers and those anomalies to those customers. I want you to go in and I want you in your CRM, I want you to tag the people who only have ever bought from you for Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. If you acquired a whole bunch of new customers this weekend, I hope that you had a system in place that tagged them. And if not, I hope that you have a way that you can go back now and tag them so that you know who you're tracking. These people came to your website looking for a discount. They came to your website looking for a deal. For you to get their average order up, for you to get lifetime value from that customer up to a place where your customers who buy from you year round is, you will likely need to sell to them one or two more times. So these are all things that we want you to start tracking. If you didn't do this year, this is a great time for you to start taking notes and figuring out what you're going to need to do in 2026 so that you can have a better Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a more organized Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so that when you read this data again next year, it's a lot easier for you to read. The next little category that I want you to look at, obviously money is first, right? We're going to look at profits. We're going to look at money. We're going to look at all of those numbers. Now I want you to look at product and inventory. Did anything sell out that you weren't expecting to sell out? That's money lost. That's money left on the table right there. If you didn't have enough inventory in your warehouse, people were coming to your website, you sold out too fast, that's money that you could have made that you didn't make. That's money on the table right there. And so how do you analyze that for better opportunity in the future? How do you make sure that you have enough inventory on hand of those items as you move forward so you don't continue leaving money on the table? On the opposite side of the coin is that what didn't sell? What did you expect to sell like hotcakes for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and people did not pick up? That, again, is going to give you a lot of information about that product. Your customer doesn't want it, especially if it was discounted and they still didn't buy it. If it was discounted, if it was cheaper and they still didn't buy it, there is something about that product that is not hitting your target customer right. The target customer that you advertise to, that you bring to your website, that typically buys from you, didn't want that item. This is an item that is up for killing, up for dropping. When you do your next SKU rationalization process, you need to put that one on the list for potentially dropping out of your line because your customers just gave you a very, very clear message that it is not something that they want. The other indicator for this is going to be returns. Now, I've talked about this a little bit where the shoppers who are coming looking for discounts, looking for deals are also the type of shoppers who tend to do returns. They'll get something or they'll order a couple different sizes to try things on. They got it at a discount, so no big deal. And now they're going to be returning items, especially if they didn't love it. Maybe they gifted it to somebody and the person that they gifted it to didn't love it. And so you're going to have to deal with returns here. So I want you to brace for the impact of returns that happen after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We gave some advice a few weeks ago to make sure that you had information in place on what happens with exchanges and returns, what happens on your website. How does that happen for your customers? Is it easy? Is it hard? Do you send them a return shipping label in the box in which you actually are shipping the goods to them with? There are so many different ways that you can handle returns. Your customer service needs to be up to snuff here because they might be getting a lot of calls. They might be getting a lot of messages. This is the time of year where they get very, very busy. And these returns are also going to give you a message. You need to be tracking what is being returned. If there's a certain product that is being returned in bulk, in mass, it might be that that garment doesn't fit very well, and you need to go back to the drawing board and refit it with your technical design team. Once you've taken a look at product, let's take a look also at the customer segmentation that you had coming in during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Again, like we already talked about, did you have a bunch of new customers? Did you pay to acquire a whole bunch of new customers this weekend? Or did you have returning customers? And what was that split? For example, if you had 80% returning customers, your retention and your brand loyalty is amazing, but your acquisition was really low. On the flip side, if you did 80% new customers on this weekend, your acquisition was great, but your retention of new customers was not so great. And so you really want to have a mix of this. You want to have a fairly even split of bringing in returning customers to come shop with you over this weekend while acquiring new customers at the same time. Like I already said, I want you to be tagging the new customers who came into your ecosystem over this weekend because it's going to be really important for you to keep an eye on them. You are going to want to treat them slightly differently than the rest of your customers who come shop from you for the rest of the year. You want to make sure that you are on them about any additional sales that are coming up because you know they're sale hunters, right? So you want them to know about it. You also want to make sure that you can get a couple other purchases out of them to make sure that your customer acquisition costs and your lifetime values of your customers stays high. As you continue to dig through all of the different data analytics that you can look at, I always recommend, and this is something that I'm even doing at my company on a regular basis, that you're always looking at what marketing and what ads are performing better than others. Now, I have a team who is experts in meta advertising, and they go out and they do all of the data analytics for me, and they send me a report and they say, hey, Rach, this ad is doing really, really well. We want to create a few more like it, see if we can keep testing them. This ad didn't do so great. It didn't actually get clicked on very much. So we're not going to run this one anymore. We're actually going to turn this ad off. If you don't have a team doing that stuff for you, those are the kinds of things that you want to look at about how your actual assets, your marketing pieces performed over this weekend. If you had marketing pieces and ads that performed really well on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there is a good chance that you can tweak the messaging and continue to use similar marketing and advertising as you move forward into the remainder of the year and into 2026. Allow the best performing ads and organic marketing pieces to inform what you should continue doing inside your brand as you move forward. When people resonate with something, there's a reason. And so whatever message you were putting out there, whatever copy you had, whatever colors you used, whether it was a video or a carousel or a static post, what are the different stats that you can look at to make sure that your marketing now also gets a boost because you're reading the data of that? You've put in the hours, you've mastered the fundamentals, and your brand is no longer a passion project. But somewhere along the way, the hustle that got you here started to feel like a trap. You're building a business, not just making clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever crack the code to consistent, profitable growth. What if I told you that industry's top brands aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, with a clear blueprint for everything from line planning to streamlining their supply chain? This is the insider knowledge that's typically kept behind closed doors, but now it's accessible to you. Introducing The Board, an annual membership designed to give you that strategic advantage. Led by a team with over 70 years of combined experience, we provide the honest, real talk mentorship you need to move from busy to truly successful. We'll show you how to focus on the small, consistent actions that lead to massive progress, helping you build a legacy without the burnout. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself and start building with purpose. Don't pay attention to the chaos. Pay attention to what actually matters. Join the board and unlock the proven systems that will transform your brand. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com to find the option that's right for you. I can't wait to see you in there. So these are just some great highlighted points. I want you to be reviewing all of that data. If you can put it into spreadsheets, if you can share it with your team, if you can get everybody to kind of understand what happened on the back end of this weekend, that's not just total sales, so that you can move forward with a strategy in place based on what the data told you. Remember, numbers are not going to lie to you. Numbers and information like this is going to tell you a very clear story about what your customer wants and what they don't want from you at this point. Now, what I want you to do is a few different things. First of all, I want you to go chase those new customers that you got over Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I want you to let them know about any other holiday deals that you have, even if it's just free shipping for the remainder of December. If it's easy exchanges, if it's another sale, if it's something else that you can get them to come back and buy from you right away. You want to turn that customer back over quickly. So you want to go out, you want to reach out to them. If you don't have an email campaign in place for new customers, make sure that you build that funnel. Build out an email sequence that goes out to every new customer who comes to your website. And if they're a first-time buyer, they get this sequence from you. Maybe they get a discount code. So now they just bought from you from Black Friday, Cyber Monday. They're getting a discount code in their email inbox from you. Maybe they're going to come back and buy. I want you to be chasing that customer so that you can get that lifetime value back up to where you want that average to be. There is something called the Q5 opportunity. Especially during the holidays and as the new year is turning over, this is a really good time for us to capture people as advertising spend goes back down. So advertising spend was as expensive as it is ever going to be this year over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, right? We spend top dollar to have people's eyes on our stuff for that weekend. Advertising dollars are going to start coming down. Organic marketing will start turning back on a little bit more. If you've been just organic marketing and you've seen a dip in your engagement, that is normal for this time of year because so many people are paying for eyes and for ads to be on their brands. So if you're not paying and you're noticing that engagement is low, that's normal, but it will start to shift again, especially in January. So what you can do is you can, like I said before, use those marketing pieces, use those ads that performed well, twist the messaging just a little bit so that it actually pertains to what's happening for you over the holidays, over the end of the year, over the new year, and into January, and now reuse them. Because this is a great opportunity for you to reuse them when your dollar is actually going to go quite a bit further. Last but not least, if there is any way for you to start gathering user-generated content or UGC after making all of these sales, if you can get people to review your items, if you can get people to leave testimonials on your website, if you can get people to talk about your brand on social media, if you can get people to show the unboxing experience that you gave to them through your brand, through your shipping, user-generated content and those kinds of reviews and testimonials are going to be so incredibly valuable to your brand. They always are. People always want to hear about what other people are buying and liking. When something has a lot of really great reviews, more people will come buy from you. So I want you to start looking for that kind of stuff. If you can reach out to anybody who actually bought goods from you over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, ask them to leave a review, ask them to post on social media, ask them to talk about your brand. This is also a great way for you to personally be reaching out to the people who are new customers into your company. This is also a great time for you to be personally reaching out to people who are new customers to your brand. You've just captured them. Now give them an amazing experience. Reach out to them, be a human being, don't be a bot, send them a note, ask them if they would write a review for you, ask them what they thought about the clothes, ask them what they thought about the experience, ask them what they thought about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, ask them what ad brought them in. Those kinds of little touches are going to go very, very far for you. and can be a huge catalyst in getting more return customers to come back to your brand over and over again. Now, next year in 2026, we are going to be hosting a workshop in August. We are putting together all of our events now for 2026 so that you can plan with us for them in 2026. In August, we will be hosting a workshop all about prepping for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And we are really going to dig deep into a lot of these analytics that I talked about today. We're going to be helping you analyze the data that you got this year so that you can have a very successful, even more successful Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2026. So mark your calendars now. Know that that's happening in August of 2026 with us. It is going to be a free 3-day workshop. There will be an opportunity to get some VIP bonuses if you would like to do that, but you don't have to. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be announcing a lot of our events coming up here real soon. Take a moment to take a deep breath. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is behind you now for 2025. Congratulations. I hope it was an amazing weekend for you. Take a deep breath, enjoy the holidays, and then get to that data analysis. It will be so important to you for 2026. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who could also learn a little bit out of this episode. And if you have a moment, we would really appreciate it if you would leave us a review. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Business of Apparel podcast. I would so appreciate hearing your thoughts on the show. And if you know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them. My biggest desire is to help other apparel professionals understand the nuances of our industry so we can all work toward making better product for a better world. If you would like to connect further, I'd love to invite you to send me a message through my website, thebusinessofapparel.com, where I do weekly trainings through my YouTube video channel, a weekly newsletter, blog articles, and so many more resources to help you start and scale a profitable apparel brand. This podcast is produced by Box 7 Media, who I cannot speak highly enough of. If you're looking to start your own podcast, you can reach out to Jeremy at Box 7 Media on LinkedIn anytime.